Hey guys, welcome to I Hope This Helps. I have a wonderful guest here today. I have Dr. Larry Ordonez with Peak Chiropractic and Wellness. Larry, thank you for coming and tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. I'm honored. I'm so happy that you have a podcast, and I'm great to be a guest here. Uh, I'm a chiropractor right now, and I love wellness. I love treating people, not only chiropractically but nutritionally. I treat the whole person, and definitely, it's been a pleasure learning. Every year, I learn something new about the body, about nutrition, and it's been great so far.
All right, so what got you into this?
Well, I don't know. As you know, we were athletes as kids, and we were always hanging out, and we would get injured once in a while, and we would hang out with the trainers. And I loved that. When I was with the trainer, every time I got treated, I was always asking questions and stuff like that. And then also, my mom got injured. She kept complaining about her knees, and all the time she kept going to her regular doctors, and they just wanted to pump her with meds all the time. And that would work for a little bit, but then eventually she ended up at a chiropractor's office. And the chiropractor, actually took an x-ray of the knee, right? You would think that's something simple, but he took an x-ray of the knee and he saw that it was damaged, arthritic, and from there, they figured out she had really bad osteoarthritis and she needed some help. And, eventually she ended up getting surgery, but that actually helped her and she lived pain-free. She had no problems with her leg. And that was a chiropractor, not an orthopedic doctor or anything like that. So that was another reason I got into that field, for sure.
Okay, so basically, usually when people think of, chiropractors and everything like that, but what distinguishes you is you're not there just to treat. You also do preventative care. So
Correct.
people should be going for you for different health situations, diets. Tell us a little bit how you work and what's your preference when it comes to preventative care.
Yeah, I mean, people just think we treat the spine and we adjust and that's it. But really, when you come in, we obviously that's what we do. But part of that is what caused that situation. Why are you having back pain? Or why is your neck hurting? Why is you having so many headaches? And we try to find the reason why that's happening. And a lot of the times, it's basically what you're eating, what's inflamed, your occupation, what you're doing every day, lights, too much TV, not enough rest, not enough sleep. So we have to figure out. We have to do a history. We ask a lot of questions, and we try to figure out what's missing or what you're doing that's causing that, and then we treat it. And then we could treat anything. We treat ankles, we treat knees, shoulders, not just back. We treat headaches, migraines. I mean, concussions is a big thing too. People don't treat concussions. They just wait till they go away, and they really don't go away. Sometimes you'll be like, why is my leg hurting? But, it could be because of your concussion. So certain things like that, yeah.
Wow. And you also mentioned headaches. That could be caused from dehydration,
Yeah,
correct?
dehydration is a big thing. People think they're drinking water, but this water's like basically been filtered. There's nothing in there that's helping you. So you have to kind of put it in your own packet of electrolytes. You need magnesium, you need sodium, and you need a little balance of that to kind of you need these minerals to be working properly. And a lot of times it's causing a headache.
Okay, so you're a strong believer in minerals, supplements, and vitamins, and et cetera?
Absolutely. I mean, I take minerals every day, especially if you're on certain diets. Like keto, if you're not on any minerals, you're going to start cramping up everywhere. You're going to be like, I'm getting a cramp in the rib or something like that. It's because you're not having enough, you're not hydrated enough with the proper electrolytes or minerals. And so you're definitely going to need that. So, and athletes that are overdo it. They need their electrolytes so that they don't cramp at night. So you don't get that horrible leg cramp at night that really hurts, that wakes you up. That's because you're lacking something there.
It also happens after a heavy night of drinking.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I'm just mentioning it from
we
a
don't know
friend of
nothing
mine.
about. We don't know nothing about that.
So you said something. Keto's a big diet, right? That a lot of people are on.
Keto's
So what
huge,
kind of
yeah.
minerals should they be taking besides electrolytes?
Definitely, electrolytes is going to keep you from cramping, but minerals and electrolytes are part of the same thing. They're kind of in the same family. So if you're taking either one, it's going to help you, and you're not going to feel as tired. And right away, you should be burning the fat. because the keto, but it takes times with keto, depending where you're at with it. When you start off, it's going to be an issue, and then you want to get off it a little bit. Your body needs carbs, and there's good carbs, there's bad carbs, but your body does need carbs eventually. But you need to kind of cycle off.
What do you like? What do you like better, keto or fasting?
Both, actually. If you do a combination of both, I like to intermittent fast. So usually I'll do 16 hours easy. You sleep in half of that, right? And then I skip breakfast. And the good thing about it, you could hack a little bit. You could have your black coffee. It has to be black, and it has to be with no sugar or sugar like monk fruit. I don't know if you ever heard of monk fruit.
No.
Monk fruit is a good substitute sugar, right? Because we don't want to touch the Splenda. We don't want to touch the other ones because those are like bombs into your biome. They're bad for your brain. This monk fruit is actually, you could take it in and it won't raise your sugar. And it kind of sweetens your coffee. It's very similar to sugar. I think it tastes better than the stevia. Stevia is also a good option. But just taste-wise, I like monk fruit. And it's really good. So I have my coffee and then I start work. And by the time I finished my first half of work, I go to lunch and I'm already fasted. Okay. So then if you do keto with that, you're going to, not only are you going to lose weight, but when you fast, there's a lot of nutritional things, good things happening. Like your body's cleaning out any old cells. It's starting to clean out the fat that you have there, especially your organs, right? Your organ, that ever heard of fatty liver? Mm-hmm. You don't want fat. You could be skinny and have a fatty liver because of your eating habits and things that you don't realize are bad for you, you're taking in, and your liver's cleaning that out. It's just getting fat. And then when that happens, it's a downward spiral, all kinds of autoimmune diseases, you name it. I mean, arthritic pain or any pain, I guess, in general, or inflammation, right? It's all about keeping your inflammation low. Doing fasting and keto will help you reduce inflammation. And it's great for your brain.
Can you reverse fatty liver?
Yes, absolutely.
Naturally. What is the other one? What is it? The brown fat? Is that the worst one?
No, brown fat is good.
Okay.
You want brown fat. A good way to stimulate your brown fat is like cold plunging, cryotherapy. That's also a good way to get that. That brown fat is actually, it burns, it helps you metabolize better. It's the yellow fat that's not good for you.
It's the yellow fat. Okay. You said cold plunging. You're a big believer?
Big believer, yeah.
Okay.
I'm a big believer of cold plunging, infrared light, other lights, lasers. I treat with laser a lot. I use laser for the concussions, for pain. You could use laser for almost anything. So lasers and there's different types of lasers, and all those waves treat different things. So red is good for pain and inflammation, and blue light is really good for healing and autoimmune. So you could go different ways with the treatment. So that's why everyone's different. You could treat people differently with all those.
What other services do you provide at your place?
Well, outside of just adjusting as a chiro, but we do laser. I just got this new helmet, which is pretty cool. It's a neuronic helmet. It's really good for people that are suffering maybe or might be they might be diagnosed with Parkinson's or dementia and Alzheimer's. This is a really good way to get circulation to the brain. And, especially for our older clientele, they're not moving as much. They're not getting enough blood into the brain. And that's one of the main causes of all those diseases like dementia, Alzheimer's, and stuff like that.
Yeah, there was a study that just came out. A lot of Alzheimer's have inflammation in the brain, correct? And that's reducing it by getting the blood flow going.
Correct.
And stimulating
that's just
everything.
one thing you got to do, but you want to get your inflammation down. That's your goal for anything, because that's where it all starts, with the inflammation going up. And then that's just depending on the person, it's going to start somewhere. It could be your brain, it could be your knees, your elbows, depending on what's going on and their occupation and what they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
A big thing nowadays is gut health.
Oh, super big thing. That's
big thing, right?
That's your second brain, your gut. That's so there's just as many nerves down there as your brain, and we could go anywhere with gut health. But one of the worst things is probably some medications they use for like heartburn. Also medications for your blood pressure that really messes up your biome, and then. You got to think of your biome as your best friend. Your bacteria, your good bacteria is like your best friend, because they want to keep the area clean. They want to take care of where they're living. So if you take care of them, they take care of you. So that's kind of where we're at with that. But it's hard because of everything we ingest is it's difficult. Nutrition-wise, food and everything has a ton of, I guess, bad stuff. Let's say bad stuff. It causes inflammation, bad oils, fatty oils like sunflower oil, safflower oil, canola oil. Those are the bad ones. That they just cause inflammation, clog your arteries, mess up your brain. So I mean, we could go anywhere with gut health.
All right. So with gut health, what would you say a couple tips for clients viewers out there? Are we talking about, maybe implementing the intermittent fasting or a fast once in a while?
Yeah.
Should they be taking more fiber or looking into their diet for specific protein, carbohydrates, and fiber intake?
Yeah.
What would be a couple of tips you'd give to a few people?
I think fasting,
starting off at least.
Fasting is like one of the easier things. I guess for certain people, they're like, oh, I got to eat in the morning. So you start slow. You wake up and then give yourself an hour of not eating. You can still have a coffee, black, no milk or anything like that.
I like it too.
So I mean, that's gonna tip. And then there's some hacks you could do. There's like coconut milk you could do. That's fatty, so it doesn't have too many calories. If you keep it under 60 calories, I believe, you don't break your fast. So you could put a dab of that in there. Use the monk fruit. These are all little hacks that could help you get through the beginning stages of fasting. So that's how I like to start with somebody. And then you start with 8 hours, then you get to 9, and then little by little you get to 16 easily because you're skipping breakfast, or if you want to skip dinner, whatever meal you want to skip, but you got to skip them. But I like starting off the day that way because, I feel like you have a clearer mindset and there's no sugar in there to kind of mess things up. Eating late is a bad thing. If you eat late, especially like 3-4 hours before bed, your brain can't clean itself up. At night, your brain has to do its thing to kind of reset. If you eat anything sugary, especially sugary, you could probably get away with something fatty. But if you eat anything sugary, it's the rest of the night, basically your brain is going to be working on cleaning that up instead of cleaning your brain. So once a week, you need to eat. You're not supposed to eat like maybe 4 hours before bed, so you could do your special cleanup at night for your brain.
Yeah, so 4 hours is the magic trick. So if you go
4
to bed,
to 2 hours, I would say 2 to 4 hours, but 4 hours they say is the best for sure.
So big is diet, fasting, dehydration. Yeah. So what kind of other minerals or supplements should people start putting into their diets?
A big one is usually vitamin D. Everyone's low on vitamin D. It's like, I don't know why. It's just really bad. And you need D for all different processes of your body, good bone health, good immune system, good hormone health too. That's important. If your hormones are off, you're going to feel crappy no matter what you do. So sometimes you need to get that checked, see where your hormone levels are. For men and females. Females are probably a little more complicated, but for
you
men,
said it, though, man.
I try not to go there. I do help my females patients, and they're happy. But it's definitely more complicated their system. The men are kind of easy. They're like, all right, just do this, and they're ready to go. So, yeah.
So wait, let's go back here.
Vitamin D is definitely a big one. A good omega-3s is really good. So omega-3s, if you keep the ratio from omega-6s, which are like the bad fats, omega-3, you want to keep like 3 to 1 omega-3s more. And that will keep your overall inflammation down, which is the goal, right? You want to stay with low inflammation and you won't have those achy knees and all that, all the other health problems. Your sugar will go down, your cholesterol will go down. Your triglycerides will be great, and you want those things balanced out. And I noticed that with myself when I started fasting. That was like my blood pressure dropped. All of a sudden, my blood panel was great, and then you don't have to worry too much about cholesterol. People freak out right now. Anything over 190 or whatever is crazy. You could be around 200, a little over 200, and you're okay. As long as your HDLs are a little higher. But right away, when they see that, they want to put you on a statin. And statins are just no good for your brain. And I feel like that's really taking a toll on our elderly because they're all on it. That and a lot of the other medications like for sugar, but some of the sugar ones aren't as bad. But the statins for blood pressure and cholesterol are really causing an issue, I feel like, for our elderly patients, especially brain-wise.
Okay. So you said a lot there.
Yeah.
The vitamin no, it's quite all right. I'm trying to make
D,
sure I
right?
get
The
it
D,
right.
yeah.
So you said the vitamin D.
And
That's
the-
big. Now, do you feel like because we're like in the Northeast and the winters, is that why we probably don't get enough sunlight and that's why our vitamin D is lower?
And maybe, but it's happening everywhere, so it doesn't matter kind of where you're at.
Kids need to go out and play more then.
Yeah. I mean, we used to play a lot. We were always outside.
Always outside playing baseball. Those were the good old days.
Yeah, I would say that could be a small role, but you definitely have to supplement with it. And then K2 and D are friends. K2 is also helps to keep your bones keep your calcium in your bones, keep your arteries clear from calcification too.
Okay.
So it's almost like a natural blood thinner, K2. So you got to be careful actually if you're on blood thinners and you're taking the D with K2, but they're really good together. Most of the time now you'll see vitamin D products with K2 already in the mix. Little A and a little vitamin A and vitamin E helps you absorb the D better and keep you healthy.
Okay.
That's a good baseline to start. Omega-3s.
Omega-3s. You can also get that naturally by eating like salmon and, good fatty fishes.
Salmon, avocado,
Okay.
Certain seeds, nuts, chia seeds, nuts, stuff like that.
And then you mentioned something about hormones, right? Now, we made a little bit of joke about it, but
Yeah.
now women that go through menopause, they're all hormonal, right?
Yeah,
Certain people that have thyroid issues, and have to have that removed, their hormones are all over the place.
Yeah.
Do you help patients like that?
Oh, we do. It is definitely. I've had patients come in where they have that issue, and we do help them. And it's really more complicated. I usually need a team of people to help me. We usually need a blood panel, see where they're at, and then we could. Really depends on. There's also on medications too. So perimenopause and menopause is huge right now. So they're still in the kind of early stages of treating that. And we help out with everything we do as far as modalities, laser, trying to calm the nervous system down. But for sure, I'm not a specialist in the hormones, but I know I kind of treat that way with certain things, and it has helped. But it's not. It's something that you need further assistance with for sure.
Okay. So you mentioned something right now, nervous system, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they're stressed, they can see it in their weight. They retain weight or gain weight, right?
Yeah.
If they don't sleep enough, certain times of the month, when my business gets me really stressed and I can see it right away. Nervous system, sleep, like how does that all go into, our bodies and how can we regulate it and how can we help each other out in that aspect?
I know this is probably going to be funny, but getting adjusted actually helps to calm your system down every once in a while. It really, one of the things with the chiro treatments, and I see this right away, usually you adjust the patient, you treat them, and, after they leave, they feel great. They feel great. And the reason that is that we're kind of stimulating the nervous system, one. And then we're also helping relax the tendons and throughout your spine. And your parasympathetic sit in this area here. Your vagus nerve is one of your big nerves that come from your brain and control all your organs. We stimulate that with laser, also with a chiropractic adjustment. And that just really settles you down for sure. So that's one reason. That's one way to look at it. But then you also have to figure out how to kind of shut off your system, which is hard because once you start thinking about certain things, you got to find things that make you relax. Sometimes it's good to turn off the electronics at night, not watch too much TV, maybe read a book or something like that, and kind of put the lights down low because too much light and EMF, I don't know if you've heard of that, could overstimulate you and your body doesn't get to shut down. You need that shutdown period. You need to sleep in darkness and let your body kind of heal because then it just won't turn off. You got to get it to calm down, get your cortisol levels to relax.
All right, so now, here we go. Ready? Let's zone this out, right? Now, Dr. Ordonez, I need about 8 hours sleep. I need to drink about a gallon of water a day. I need to do cold plunges. I can't eat sugars. I gotta fast. I gotta eat a certain amount of proteins. I gotta take all these supplements. And but it sounds like a boring life.
Yeah.
What are little things that each person should start off with and implement?
Well, like you said, it's all you got to start somewhere, right?
Okay.
And just do one thing for okay, let's fast, right? Just that. Don't worry about the supplements. Don't worry about what you got to take in. Let's start with fasting. And then you're going to see that just doing that, if you're consistently, do it for a month. Let's try. Or let's try for a week. Let's not go so far. Do one day of like intermittent fasting, 16 hours. If you get 16 hours, and then eat whatever you want. Whatever you want. You could eat whatever you want. Just start doing that, and you'll notice a difference. Give yourself a month with that, but start with a week, and then you'll be like, oh, I could do this, and then you keep doing it, and then you're gonna see, oh, the weight is coming off a little bit. I feel maybe I have a little bit more energy. The first week might suck because your body's not used to it, right? So like like a detox, usually the first couple of days, you're not feeling too good. So your body's actually kind of detoxing itself, so you're going to feel a little weird. But if you just start off with something, whatever you want to pick wellness-wise, you start off with that and just stay consistent. And then you start stacking them. Then you stack it. Then like, oh, okay, I did the fasting. Now I could do my vitamin Ds every day with K2. Let me do that now. And you just add that. And then little by little, before you know it, that's kind of how I did it. Before I know it, I'm taking like 20 pills a day. I fast regularly, but it becomes part of your routine. You just got to start somewhere. That's the way I look at it.
Okay. I love that. You just get started, right?
Yeah.
I got a controversial question for you.
Well, let's do it. I like it.
Ozempic, Wegovy, and all that stuff. So for all those people that feel like, hey, I can't do the easy stuff by just starting little by little, a lot of people are trying to take the easy way out. Certain people, I believe, need it, when you're really obese and stuff like that. Maybe it can help them. But there's just regular Joes that may be 15 to 20 pounds overweight, just like I am, no problem. They're just jumping on it, and then they don't look so good a lot of times. They become too thin. They become on it forever. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
So I'm not against it. Okay, I get it. But one of the biggest thing with all those Ozempics and the GLP and all that, is when you're on it and you're just doing that, you're not doing anything else, you're going to lose a lot of muscle mass too. 30% of your muscle is being lost with that fat. So you got, and that's really bad because you need your muscle to perform, to keep things in place, and then you're aging, you're aging fast. Now you're aging faster. So that's why people say this. I don't know if people look older. You lost a lot of weight, but they might look a little older, or they feel a little older because you're losing all this muscle, and that's not good. So I recommend if you're gonna take that stuff, you gotta do some resistance training. At least 3 to 4 times a week, and that will balance you out. Then you get, if you get to your goal, and you've kept your muscle, and you'll notice that your waistline is looser and stuff like that. That's what you want. You don't want your weight to be fluctuating. Like if you're only 10 to 15 pounds heavier, say you lose 10 pounds and you keep your 5 pounds of muscle, but you'll notice that your blazer fits better or your pants fit. That's how you notice you lost weight, when your clothes are feeling better. And I think that's a good advice. If you're gonna be on Wegovy or anything like that, make sure that you have to do this. You have to do some resistance training. Keep your legs strong, very important, and your grip strength is very important. Those are the two things that keep you younger and stronger as you age. And we want to age gracefully. You want to be able to play with your grandkids. I still want to toss a ball and be able to do that when I'm older. I want to be able to hike or do regular activities or even more, and you could do that if you take care of yourself properly, for sure.
Yeah, no, of course, especially when you mentioned about muscle. They say, longevity, right? They're saying that you need to maintain your muscle mass.
Absolutely.
And a bunch of tests are like farmers walks, and they say that you're supposed to be able to do is it your combined weight? I'm not sure, for at least a minute or two, and that will show you how
I'm not
your
sure
strength.
the numbers, but yeah, that's farmer walks is a great exercise. Even I like to always recommend the wall sits. You know what a wall sit is?
Yeah,
Those are tough.
those
but
are fun.
those are fun, but if you do that, that actually helps with knee pain, but it also keeps your legs strong. And you do it for like 2 minutes a day, once a day, and you give your body that 24 hours to keep that muscle maintained, and that will maintain and allow your muscle mass. Little things like that will help you. So I like that.
What about stretching?
Stretching is good. Stretching is also important to keep your flexibility. But I would say I like better. Your muscle strength is more important, but stretching is also important too to keep your flexibility, keep your joints moving well. So you could find maybe like 15 minutes a day to stretch as well. But I'd rather you do like 100 squats or 50 squats or whatever squats you could do, feel that burn, and then you could stretch after that a little bit.
Okay. What about steps?
Steps are good. I like steps.
Of course they're good. How many should people be doing in activity? Like a lot of people are saying.
You're talking about walking steps. I was meaning like climbing steps.
I'm talking about walking steps,
No.
I'm talking about everything that you hear out there in the news nowadays.
So actually, they say that if you walk on a treadmill uphill or walk uphill, that's just as good as running. Running a long distance, it's actually probably better for you because it's not so hard on your joints and on your body. Because when you run long distance, it kind of takes a toll on you. If you don't do the proper things to recover, that's a whole nother thing. But so steps are really good. They say it's really good to walk after dinner because that just a 15-minute walk and a light walk. It doesn't have to be like heavy duty, 15-minute walk. And that gets your sugar going down already. And then you should be able to, and it really stimulates your metabolism to go to bed and wake up nice and with your sugar low, no more diabetes or anything like that. Definitely a good thing. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
The one thing that I also, going back onto the fasting, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one thing when I did it, a while back, the energy level gets increased by so much. And I've heard a lot of people saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Why is that? You feel like you're clearer, you're in the zone, like you're not in such a fog anymore. What is that? Is that the reason behind it?
I would say one of the main reasons is your body is cleaning all that gunk out, right? You're full of gunk.
Mm-hmm.
That's horrible to say, but because of our environment and everything we take in, now that you're allowing your body to do its cleaning mechanism because it's fasting, it's keeping everything, it's like, oh, I'm not getting food, so I got to keep everything in tip-top shape. Now things are functioning better. So that's why you're firing at a higher level. That's why you feel like you're clearer. So, and that's the way I like to explain it to patients, that you're allowing your body to not deal with the sugar or the constant toxins that you're constantly putting in there. So now your body's like, oh, okay, I get to clean this up. Now the room is clean and organized. Now we could think better. Let's get ready and go.
Okay. Yeah. So, there's so much noise out there for the last few years. One minute, black coffee's good for you. Another minute, it's not. Well, now fasting is great. And, before it used to be you need to eat 6 meals a day to keep your metabolism fast.
I was one of those. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, me as well.
I remember. And
it
worked. But
then creatine is great for you. Then it's bad for you. But now they're saying it's great for you again. So how do you take the noise out of it and, stay with it? Who should people believe?
So that's the hard part because I had issues with that too. I remember I was one of those guys. I was like eat every 2-3 hours, work out every day, 6 days a week. And I also found myself struggling with that and then where to get my information. So I kind of, for me, luckily because we're doctors and we have to constantly, we go to seminars and I'm exposed to different doctors. There was one guy, Dr. Murphy. I remember this guy was I just went to the seminar, and I don't even know what he was talking about. But this guy was like an encyclopedia of like anything longevity, and he just made it clear. And then you gotta find a good source and he was an example of everything he was saying. So that's why I also like to do these things to prove to myself that they work. So, and then you trust those sources, right? That's the problem, trying to trust a source, and there's different sources, but most of the the gurus now are almost on the same page on almost anything as far as like creatine. It is good for you now, right? I didn't take it.
It wasn't back then.
And it was. Apparently it was. I didn't take it as a kid because I was scared. I thought it was like a steroid or something like that. And but it probably would have helped us as athletes.
Sure.
It's really good for your brain,
So
though.
you say Mark McGuire and Barry Bonds only took creatine in the intro?
I don't know. It might have took a little extra. No, but creatine is awesome for you, actually. It's really good for your brain health, actually.
I just heard about that as well.
That's one of the good things. I take creatine every day. That became part of my stack, but it wasn't. But then you find it, and then you just add it, and it's really good for working out. It is good for your muscles, but more importantly, it's good for brain health. Even nicotine is good for your brain. It's but now I don't want people to go smoke.
Smoke is here, but nicotine. Yeah, I heard the same thing with the
About
nicotine
1.5
as well.
grams to 3 milligrams. Eat 1.5 milligrams to 3 milligrams, low dose, like every day or every other day, is really good for your brain for cognitive thinking, and it keeps you alert. And it's a good thing. I'm not promoting smoke or anything like that.
So how do you get nicotine without the smoke? I mean,
I use these
obviously-
little tabs. They're like tablet. They're like mints, but actually they're 3 milligram mints. But I don't take the whole thing because it gives me like a little stomach ache. So I would start off slow.
It's like these kids with the, what do they call it? The zingers or the,
Yeah.
they all do that and then they go drink and they catch a buzz. Kids are nuts nowadays.
It's almost like a cigar. Like if you ever had a strong cigar, you get that kind of like, I'm not sure. I know you've had a cigar before or whatever, and so have I. But I sometimes I feel that weird feeling. That's the same thing. If I take too much of the nicotine, I feel that same kind of feeling. So I just do half a tab, and then I'm good to go.
There you go. So make sure you get a good source, right? And I guess try to stay up to date as best as possible. Now,
It is challenging, so that's why you gotta trust your things and then try it out and see if it's working for you.
is there anything on your website that promotes anything? Do you do any blogs or any articles up?
I'm working on that. That's why I have a ton of things that I'm like. I like Timeline Nutrition. This is urolithin A. I don't know if you ever heard of that. These are gummies or tablets you could take. They did like already 10, 20 years of studies on this particular product. They actually extract and concentrate this urolithin A product. It's from pomegranates, and this is supposed to keep your muscles strong. This is just one example, and I'm going to be promoting that on my site too. It's just one example to keep your mitochondria, right? That's a big word now, right? You want to keep your mitochondria young and working properly, and that keeps you young forever. Well, I don't want to claim that, but it keeps you in really good shape, and you'll notice the difference as you do these things, and sometimes I feel stronger now than when I was in 30, or when I was younger. So it's like, a product like urolithin A or NAD, those are all really good products that you could get into your body, and they all promote mitochondrial health, and that's a big thing now.
Now, all right. I'm sure whatever you're promoting right now is really good for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
My question to you is like, they say a lot of things that anything that's packaged is no good for you, like processed and all that stuff.
Yeah,
right. So is this processed? Is it not? Like that's for their underlining info.
Most of these companies that create a product like this are aware of that, so they do make it as nutritionally balanced for you. So it's and not using any weird product or
any added insert.
Correct.
Okay.
It's just you don't want to see artificial flavors. You might see it on some of these products, but artificial flavors is not a good thing. There's a ton of like MSG is bad for you, but they don't use none of that. Most of these companies, especially the companies I use, are really kind of scan for all that and make sure that they don't have any of those type of bad products for you.
Okay. So now a big thing you said, longevity. That's a big word right now.
It's huge,
right?
yeah. It's
and everybody's talking about reversing their age and, whatever your actual age is compared to what your body composition says your age is, right?
They have that. I want to try one of those. I want to see.
I was going to ask you if you offer that.
I don't offer it, but I'm definitely looking into it for sure. I want to, I'm looking at different companies that provide this service. I think Levels is one of them. They also provide like a patch to see where your sugar's at. Because you want to keep your sugar around 100, and if you do that, that's also part of aging well. because you're not.
So is it a blood test? Is it a scan? What
It's actually a little thing that they put on you, and it measures your sugar. You could check it on your
Not
phone.
the sugar. I'm talking about the age composition of your body.
I think it's a blood work. It's blood work. They check that, and then like I said, I haven't done it yet, but I've heard cool things about it, and I would like to try it for sure.
All right. Me too.
But I do feel like I don't feel like I'm my age, so I feel like I would hope I'm younger. I want to test it out because I've been doing this for a little bit now, and I feel pretty good. So
Yeah, you look great. All right. So tell us. Now, this is the point.
Yeah.
Self-promote yourself. Tell us where your business is located. What are the stuff that you offer? Or do you have any promos or anything like that? Tell us.
I mean, I'm right here in Newark in the Iron Bound on Chestnut Street, 411 Chestnut Street. We're called Peak Chiropractic and Wellness. And yeah, we have all types of different options for treatment as far as laser. We do a lot of chiropractic. We do some nutrition for sure. And different. Now I have that helmet, the neuronic helmet. This is really good for brain concussions, stuff like that. We treat those as well, and we do massage therapy as well. We have that, and we have different stuff at the office, but those are my main treatments that I do for sure.
All right, Larry. Thank you, Dr. Ordonez. Sorry.
Thank
you.
you.
And guys,
hopefully we could do this again. I feel like we have more to talk about.
I'm actually ready to go into your office and see all these cool gadgets and that you walk us through it. Guys, I hope this helps.